put a fighter in your corner.
And welcome to another episode of the Walton Law Firm Show. Trip Walton is in the building. He's
That'd be me.
Present, fourth, and all, what is it? All present and accounted for?
I'm here.
You all of that?
I'm here.
You got the...
Well, I don't know if I'm all here, but I'm here.
Okay. So I see your shirt matching the pollen from outside.
Yeah, I thought you wouldn't be able to tell I was covered in dust when I came in.
Yeah. I'm glad that's not pollen because I would really be calling me sneezing.
Well, it was a white shirt last week.
You got a lot of it. So, man, how are you today?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm great.
All right.
Beautiful spring day. Weather's fixed to get bad again, but, that's Georgia and Alabama in the spring.
The wonderful South that we live in.
It's just always happening.
Bad rain or bad cold?
I think it's supposed to be wind, mainly tornadoes, bad storms. I saw a warning. First thing I saw on my phone this morning was a warning tomorrow, high winds across the central Alabama and central Georgia.
Oh, when I got in the car this morning, they said that.
Yeah.
High wind alert.
Yeah.
I don't know how to turn her off, but I wish I could turn her off sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes just too much.
But she helped me out the other day.
She did?
I had some blocks that I had delivered to my house.
Uh-huh.
I'm building a wall back there. And they put them they didn't really put them where I told them to put them.
Imagine
and I was
that.
bagging up. Okay, I knew they were back, but I got distracted just in those 3 seconds. And I was bagging up, and that ding
Boom.
came on. I was getting ready to tear those blocks up. So
Well,
I won't try
good.
to cut that sense off anymore.
That's good.
It's good. I got you.
I wish I didn't pay. My sensor came on the other day when I was pulling into the parking lot downtown Auburn.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, well, yeah, I'm probably fixing to rip off a bumper. So I ripped off the bumper.
You did?
Yeah.
Well,
Piece that much, don't tell them what they're going to charge me to put a new Mercedes bumper on the front. It's a piece of plastic that long on the corner.
yeah, that's probably about $5,000 worth
It's
of
probably going to be a hoop bunch.
It's amazing what parts call these days. And I don't even know about the Mercedes.
I don't either. It'll be my first dealing with parts.
Well, either way, you got it.
Well, they fixed to get it,
They
I
really
guess.
get it.
Or either just take the rest of that bumper off under there and just take the silver part off and just go with nothing up under there.
Exactly.
That may be the way to cure it.
Did you hit it real hard?
I just pushed, and it lit up red on my whatever dial, showing me, and I mean it's got a picture from the air and everywhere else telling me what I was doing. I just kept on going, another 2 inches, and just ripped it off. I wish I'd have known. I'd have backed up and threw it in the trunk, but I left it in downtown Auburn in some parking lot.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
There you have it.
Well, man, how's everything at the law firm now?
Everything's good. I had an interesting thing. I went and had hearing tests done yesterday because I thought my hearing was getting...
Oh, I thought you were talking about a lawyer at a hearing.
No, hearing as in with my ears.
You got jokes. Okay.
And
okay.
my new girlfriend is somewhat hearing impaired, and so she suggested maybe that I need to go check on my hearing. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. So, well, when neither one of you can hear, cuts that on the arguments because you don't hear what the other one says. But so I went yesterday to the audiologist in Auburn, former cheerleader, cute little old lady, doctor.
I wonder why you went to a cute cheerleader old lady.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend referred me to her, so I had the pass to go. And I knew my right ear. I've had the eardrum replaced twice, and back in '84 and '86. And I knew it was, just a piece of skin hanging in there.
Okay.
And it's been problems. But not only was it bad, but my left ear was bad. And so I ordered me 2 big old hearing aids. $6,000 worth of hearing aids.
So you got $12,000? Oh.
No, 3.3.
3.3.
Yeah.
And a $5 plastic. So you get ready to put almost $15,000 of plastic
in and on around my body.
So a lot of that happened when you were boxing?
A lot of times with boxing and water skiing.
Oh, water skiing.
I knocked it out barefoot, and one time I fell on the side of my head, and then the next time I got it popped with a hook to the left side of the head. And then I had a lot of infection back in the early days, and so then I've had, like I say, 2 surgeries.
Okay.
But it's been a while. I mean, 1985, 86 was the last time I had a surgery on my ear.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So I'll be getting me some hearing aids. I'll be able to hear what you're saying over there.
And that's
bionic hearing.
Okay.
It may be dangerous.
That's
I mean,
what your girlfriend really wants. I need him to hear me. I need him to hear me out.
I didn't even think about that.
See that?
You're right. Maybe I'll cancel that order.
Run that stuff by me first.
She did tell me. She said, let me just tell you, since I've been living with hearing aids all my life, you're not going to be able to put those hearing aids on and go 8 hours with them on. I said, and why not? She said, because you're not going to want to hear all the noise you're going to hear. You're going to hear the lawnmowers outside. You're going to hear the refrigerator come on. You're going to hear the ice maker buzzing. You're going to hear the coffee maker going, beep.
Like,
And
okay.
I said, okay, it's going to be,
Makes sense.
maybe it's a lot of noise I don't need.
Okay.
I got a 30-day trial on them, so I can always take them back.
Okay.
But
The
we'll see.
girlfriend or the hearing aids?
Ooh, I hope she's not watching today.
Oh, I scratched that last
the AIDS,
Oh,
the AIDS, the
okay.
hearing
All
aids.
right, all right. I didn't mean to say that. You know, we're just having a little fun. You
No,
know, fun.
she's already, you know, we went to the beach for 5 days and came back, we were still talking, so everybody thinks
So
that's a
everything-
miracle.
okay,
So,
yeah.
you know,
Okay.
I'm good with that.
All right, all right. Well, on the tail end of March, we're still in March Madness. Next week when we talk, we'll have a champion. But March Madness, down to the Final Four, man.
All right, we got UNC and Duke. Who's going to win that game? I have no idea. They're both the best teams in the league, to me, the best teams.
Coach K is the last game.
I want Coach K to win it,
Yeah,
but I also think North Carolina
They
can win it.
they can.
So we hadn't said anything.
Okay,
So we'll go pull for Duke.
okay.
Now, Kansas and Villanova. I like Villanova's coach and Kansas's coach. I don't know any of the players other than they're very good.
You about like me.
So I'm thinking the finals may be Duke and Villanova.
Okay, all right.
And all these are blue blood basketball
Blue-
teams.
Exactly.
I mean, all the talk about all these different teams coming, the SEC's going to dominate, and St. Peter's, the Peacocks from Pennsylvania, wherever, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
They're going to do this, they're going to do that. Arkansas is going to save us from the SEC. No, the same group of folks
Same
is
group.
up there that has always,
It's always been there.
Yeah, always been there. I mean, it's the dangest thing I've ever seen.
And I was riding the St. Pete train for a little while, but I just knew they would not get past North Carolina. I knew that.
No way. I didn't think it would be as bad as it was.
Right.
I didn't think they'd fall completely apart and look like they went lost.
And they did.
They did,
They did.
which happens sometimes
Okay.
when you're not used to being there. So part of being good at the dance is having been at the dance before.
Okay. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's another motivation in a moment. And you know what? If you and I are ever in public somewhere and you say something about my girlfriend, I'm not gonna come up and slap you.
Well, if you do slap me, we need to practice it like they apparently have, because Chris Rock, had he been hit with Will Smith's big hand slap, his head would have been swollen up, his eyes would have been teared up. It was a classic. We need to get some attention to this show. We've been slowing down. I mean,
And you
now
got actors playing a role.
we got actors playing a role. And the word, I mean, I looked at it probably 25 or 30 times. I mean, every channel
Okay.
played it to ad nauseum last night till you wanted to say, okay, I've seen it.
I see.
And I saw it the hour before, and I saw it the hour before that. So it looked like to me a perfect acting job of a slap.
Okay.
Now, the talking afterwards, I guess that was to try to make it look more realistic. Because without that, it wouldn't have been realistic at all.
Okay.
And quite frankly, Will Smith's wife looks better bald-headed than most people I know. I mean, I don't know why he's upset about her hair, or why she would be either, because she's about the prettiest girl I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You agree?
I agree.
I mean, I started looking at my hair and I said, well, no, she's pretty.
So so you believe it was staged?
I believe it was staged.
Okay.
Based upon the lack of physical evidence of a face swelling or teared up, or, you know, and you just don't recover from a slap like that.
Okay.
If it had been a real slap. Because if I slap you like that, you're going to be on the ground.
Yeah, that's why I told you don't ever slap me. 'Cause I said that for multiple reasons.
But it was, I would say one thing, it was very entertaining. Got all that, got the Oscars all sort of attention.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe it'll turn around next year.
Okay.
I heard Mike Tyson is going to be the host.
Cover your ears. Cover your ears. Don't want no ear biting.
Oh, no. Speaking
Speaking of slapping somebody, is that actually, is that an assault? Is that considered an assault?
Well, it can be. It normally is a harassment unless there's injury.
Okay.
So he didn't appear to be injured at all. His feelings didn't even appear to be hurt. So, I looked at my work here, and it's wrong. It's internet law. So in Alabama, you have to have an injury for an assault. So a slap would be a harassment, which is the bottom of the barrel.
Okay.
Annoying, slapping, pushing, kicking, threatening. That would be harassment. Now, had it knocked a tooth out, or had he gone down on one knee and fell backwards and hit his head and had an injury, that would be an assault.
Okay.
So, but it's very interesting. The whole thing was interesting. I'm sure they'll show it about 1,000 more times tonight.
And I only watched it twice. I guess I'll go back and look at it again.
Yeah.
And it never dawned on me that, well, it did, that it could be staged. But it didn't dawn on me that who are the blessed people to stage something? Actors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we'll look very, don't you talk,
Yeah.
I can't say what he said, but
But he walked down there.
Right.
Why wouldn't he run down there and just tackle him or
Just
knock
tackle
him down
him.
with a headbutt?
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you want to be Billy Bad,
Right.
But anyway, if it wasn't staged, it was very good. I'll say this: knowing Will Smith and as good an actor as he is, and he did win the Oscar, I think he won another one.
Exactly.
I think he needs to get 2 Oscars.
All right. So you think they got a nice little paycheck out of it?
I think they got a little paycheck. I think they got the ratings up some.
All right. And that's what it's all about.
I mean, like so many people said on the internet, but for that, we wouldn't know it was Oscars. I mean, who watches Oscars anymore?
A lot of people said that. I didn't even know. Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't know it was on.
Okay. Okay. Good deal. Well, it's time for one of those great moments that people look forward to every week, and it's the motivation time, being motivated by the one and only
Motivation
William
time.
Bill Tripp Walton.
Well, now this is interesting. It's the 3 R's.
The 3 R's.
And we're not talking about reading,
Reading,
writing, or arithmetic. Particularly since I can't read, write, or do math. Either one. But our 3 R's, our first one is being receptive, which means facing the situation. It's just like when you're going down the road and you come up on a wall, okay, you got a wall. You got to stop. So what's the next step is being resourceful. That's the second R. Resourceful means go around the wall, go over the wall, go under the wall, or if you can, back up and go through the wall. And then resurgent is the third R, which means rising again every time you get knocked down or you fall down. Get up by your bootstraps and get going again and try to go under the wall, around the wall, over the wall, or like I say, like Will Smith, go through the wall.
Yes, he did.
So our 3 R's are receptive, which again means facing up to the situation. Doesn't mean surrendering to the situation, but understanding what the situation is. And if you're up against the wall, you're up against the wall. Then our second one is resourceful. And by resourceful, we mean using creativity, go over, under, around, or through. And then resurgent is when you fall off the ladder trying to go over, get back on it. If you can't dig all in one day, get under it, start back the next day, or run around it, however you can get around it. Do what you can do. So that's the 3 R's
3 R's.
for what they were.
Kind of like I was thinking about the Michael Jackson song, too high to get over, too low to get under.
There you go.
Stuck in the middle.
That's right.
You're a vegetable. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that. So the 3 R's. And as always, we appreciate you watching the show. We appreciate your questions coming in to
Absolutely.
the show and Tripp. So we've got a couple of questions here that want to ask the famous philosopher Tripp. It says, I just watched the Tripp Walton show.
Ooh.
And I see on your page that we can ask questions. Here it goes. I never knew what gap insurance really means. So Tripp says if you don't have gap insurance and if you are in a wreck, that you still have to pay your car payment. Is that correct? And that question comes from Wanda S. in LaGrange.
That is correct. If you owe on a car and you have a wreck, just because the car is sitting out there in the front yard and can't be moved does not mean you cannot make the payments. The payments are still due. Now let's talk about gap coverage. Gap coverage typically applies to a new vehicle. So let's say you go down to the Cadillac store and you buy a $50,000 Cadillac and you take off across town to go show your best friend that you bought your first $50,000 Cadillac, and before you get 5 minutes from the Cadillac dealership, somebody runs the stop signs and T-bones you and turns your car inside out, and it is totaled. It is no good. It is done. Well, you just bought insurance when you bought the car. So your collision insurance says, well, we're going to pay what it's worth. It's worth $40,000. Whoa, 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 whoa. I just paid $50,000 5 minutes before this wreck. Well, you paid for profit, for the manufacturer, you paid profit to the dealership, and the car immediately starts going down in value the minute you drive off the lot. Most cars depreciate 20% during the first year.
Right.
So your insurance carrier, Allstate, State Farm, Alpha, Progressive, Geico, they say, we're going to pay $40,000. That's it. That's what the car's worth. The rest of it is not value of the car. So they pay $40. Guess what? You got $10,000 to come out of pocket with, and you ain't had the car but 5 minutes. It's a brand new car. So if you have gap insurance, guess what? You don't pay the $10,000, your gap insurance pays it. But if you don't have gap insurance, you got basically two options. Well, you got more options than two. But one is to come out of pocket with it or go get a loan to pay it, or the other one is go back to the Cadillac dealership, buy another $50,000 Cadillac, and then roll over the $10,000 to the next one. So now you owe $60,000, so you're still upside down. And most people are upside down in their cars. In other words, most people owe more than the car is worth, whether it's a new car or a used car. Because like I say, the minute you drive that BMW, Cadillac, Toyota, Nissan, Ford, Chevrolet, whatever it is, Dodge, the minute you drive it off the parking lot into the road with ownership papers, the value is going down. Yep. Does anybody wonder how people can sell and resell and resell and sell and resell used cars and make money every time? That's amazing. I mean, it's really amazing.
It is.
I mean, these cars, some of them are sold 15 times, and everybody's making a profit off of it. And the car ain't worth a hoot a lot of times. Wow. You're getting a $2,500 value. Now, let me tell you something you might want to do, just for the heck of it. You can go to your internet, kellybluebook.com. Right. That's kellybluebook.com. Look up your car, put in the pertinent facts, like what year, is it a good condition, bad condition, excellent condition. And then you got a trade-in value, a retail value, and a wholesale value. And, typically what you're buying at the car lot is a retail value. Mm-hmm. Wholesale value is what they get for the car without the profit typically, and trade-in is just cheap. Yeah. So you can look at that and sort of look at and go call whoever's got your note on your car and just sort of see how upside down you are.
Right. Right.
And if you could go add the gap coverage, you might want to do it. I don't know if you can add it a lot of times or not.
Okay.
But anyway, gap coverage can be very beneficial.
Yes, it can.
So
I learned that a long time ago.
And I've seen it help clients, and I've felt real sorry for a lot of clients who we can't get, when it's all said and done, and the car's been paid for by the insurance company, and they still owe $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, or even $1,000.
Wow.
An extra $1,000 for most people almost put them in bankruptcy.
Exactly.
But anyway, I hope that answers the question. I knew when I was talking last week, I was all over the place. And it reminded me of when my law professor at the University of Alabama said one time, is everybody confused? We were talking about mortgages or something. Yeah. And everybody raised their hands and said, we're confused. He said, good, that's healthy. We're on the right track. So I'm glad everybody was a little confused. It was probably my presentation more than your understanding. But hopefully that cleared it up some. Okay. And if you got a new car or even a lease, it's well worth doing. Getting.
Awesome. All right. Another question. Shout out to April. I love what you do for the community. And I have a question for the attorney show that you air on the TV station. They're talking about you. Underinsured. Can you ask Tripp?
Oh, Lord.
Can you ask Tripp to explain exactly what that is again? I learned a lot and need more information. I know that I wasn't alone not knowing what uninsured was, because Kevin didn't know either, so we're in the same boat.
Well, apparently I didn't either, because I got everybody confused.
Leslie C. out of West Point.
Let me see if I can come up with a couple of examples to help me explain it. I'll use one of the same ones I used last week.
Okay.
I had a motorcycle case where my client went home from a plant in Auburn to eat lunch. And on his way back, a lady ran a stop sign and hit him and did some severe damage to him. Mm-hmm. So he goes to the hospital. So now we get involved. We find out that she has only $25,000 on her car liability, which is all that's required by law. Well, the case is worth over $1 million.
That's right.
So we get her 25. Well, then we go to his motorcycle, and he had underinsured coverage on his motorcycle to the tune of $50,000. Underinsured jumps from the insured's car over to the defendant's car and adds more insurance for the victim to go get. So you're basically paying for insurance for the other party to have, so you can go get it to pay yourself. So we had $50,000 on the motorcycle. We got the 50. Mm-hmm. Now, as a matter of caution, once they offer the 50, you can't accept it until you get permission from your other underinsured coverage, and you can't take the liability coverage either. But anyway, we won't get into the bog down in the weeds. The other thing we did was, in that particular case, we had 2 cars, and both cars at the house had $500,000 on them. So we stacked those for a total of $1 million, and we settled for a bunch of money. Now, had we not had the underinsured motors coverage on the on the Harley for $50,000, and we hadn't had the 2 cars with $500 each, that case would have been resolved for $25,000, and his medical bills were far in excess of $300,000 or $400,000. So that's what underinsured does. You're basically protecting yourself from folks who don't have enough insurance. I'll give you another example. Years ago, tons of years ago, on a Halloween night, my client's little girl was trick-or-treating, and she ran out on trick-or-treat night and got killed by a truck, pickup truck in the neighborhood.
Wow.
He had $25,000, so we got the $25,000 locked in. Then we went to our people, and we found out that the father of our little girl was a shade tree mechanic, and he had 10 cars in his yard, and for some reason he had each one of them insured with underinsured motorist coverage. So because they weren't on the same policy, they were all on separate policies. Keep in mind, you cannot stack but 3 in Alabama on one policy. We stacked all 10 because they were all separate policies, and back then the amount was not 25, it was 10,000. So we got another 100,000. So we settled the death case for 125 instead of just the 25. So that paid off for that family. Mm-hmm. Of course, the sad part is, no matter what you pay, it wouldn't replace the little girl.
Right, right.
But at least they were able to have a funeral and pay for it. And a lot of times we see where people can't even pay for the funeral.
Man, it's another reason, because we're still in 2022, and there's still a lot of people. I'm hearing a lot of people have wrecks that people don't have insurance.
Yeah.
And they're the cause of the wrecks. Yeah.
And if they don't have insurance at all, the same principle applies, and it's just called, instead of underinsured, it's called uninsured.
Uninsured.
And it's basically handled all at the same time. When you buy it, it's uninsured / underinsured. So it's one of the more important insurances you can buy to protect you and your family.
Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking about it. I'm up for a 6-month renewal next month. And
it's really not that expensive.
I'm going to really be looking at that.
Yeah.
Just to see, what would the cost be to add that.
Because I can't tell you how many times, I'm sitting in the conference room with a family who's mourning the loss of a loved one.
Wow.
And I'm telling them, well, they only have 25, or they only have 50, or they only have 100, whatever it is. And they start, they're mad at the people. Mm-hmm. And I say, but, we could go to your underinsured. And they say, well, we didn't buy underinsured because we couldn't afford it. I said, $15 a month?
Okay.
So, but you don't want to jump on somebody who's just had a loss. But, the more responsible you are, the more you need to look at underinsured. Mm-hmm. UM/UIM is what we call it. And it's, like I say, I left the company one time because they would not let me buy a maximum amount. I think they capped me off at $300,000 per vehicle. Okay. And I went to another company who let me have $500,000 a vehicle. So you just need to be aware of that, take a look at it, talk to your insurance agent about it. If the young lady or the woman up front does not know what you're talking about when you ask her, go to the most qualified person in the building that's selling whatever you're buying. Mm-hmm. From Allstate, State Farm, Alpha, Geico, Progressive, any of them, the General. You need to get the most information you can so you make a good decision. but you need to have some uninsured and underinsured coverage.
What is this, maybe this is a hypothetical question. We always think that if we have an accident or somebody hit us, we always think that we're going to be covered, not really knowing the details. So where does that, what do you think that came from?
Everybody thinks it's just a cloud. There's a pile of money up there in the sky covering all wrecks.
Right.
When there's not.
Right.
I don't know where that came from.
Okay.
But I used to see it more than I do now.
Okay.
But people think that my child was killed in a car wreck on the interstate.
Okay.
And what do you mean they don't have insurance? Everybody's got. It's just gonna happen. It's just got to happen, and it doesn't happen because they don't have coverage, or they let it lapse, or they only have 25, or they only had 50. So it's tragic.
Well, it makes your job really hard.
Yeah.
Especially when you have compassion to help.
Yeah, I mean, we're giving people a lot of bad news a lot of times, and they've already had bad news, and they come to us, and we have to give them more bad news.
Wow. Okay, we're just about out of time. Anything you want to go over real quick with Georgia or Alabama news right quick? We've got about 2 minutes left.
Let's see what we have. Had so much detail there. It is interesting that Alabama's created a registry for elder abuse convictions.
Okay.
So at least they can keep up with folks that are going to work at people's houses and stuff and running through the system. It's never been done before, so if somebody's had a complaint and you're fixing to hire somebody, you can check them out. So that's going to be good. Okay. And then another interesting thing is adoption rates in Alabama have gone through the roof in 2020 and 2021. I think 2020 was 814 adoptions, was the second highest, was in 2021 was 783. So, and this is interesting to me. There are currently 6,000 children in foster care in Alabama and 2,300 foster homes. The average children spend 618 days in foster care. About 70% are reunited with some of their family. That's wow. I don't know if that's a good commentary or a sad commentary, but apparently it exists, and it's something you don't think about if you're not involved in it.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. And,
you didn't notice I've got on khakis. I haven't worn khakis in 40 years.
Okay. I knew it was something different. I thought it was the shoes.
Well, the shoes are different, but I'm through with jeans this summer. Okay. I'm going to wear khakis or shorts.
Okay, khakis or shorts. All right. Well, Trip, we
just
thank
so
you for sharing
everybody knows. Between my hearing aids, my Parkinson's, and my khakis, I got it going.
You got it going on. All right. One last comment. People want to get in contact with you and utilize your services. How can they reach you?
You can't find me.
You can't find me.
It's you could call 334-321-3000 or check us out on the web at www.waltonlaw.com. We've gone from .net to .com. They tell me, so try out .com. waltonlaw.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching the show, and we'll see you next time.
And any questions, let us know. We'll get them answered best we can.
Y'all come back now, yeah?
Yeah.
We don't start the fight, we finish it.
Car accident, DUI, wrongful death? Contact the Walton Law Firm, 334-321-3000.